Well, if you're a frequent visitor to this channel, you know that I usually make videos about pop culture and toys and occasionally books and history. Well, I guess this is another one of those history ones because in addition to loving toys and collecting, I also have a thing for the Age of Sail. You know, that Napoleonic Wars time when you had giant boats giving broadsides to other boats, and go watch Master and Commander. It's a great movie. It's got Russell Crowe in it. Well, there's a lot of terms in the Age of Sail that are confusing.
Question. Is the poop deck really what I think it is? I like the cut of your jib. What's a jib?
And, well, that's why I want to make this video. So, hey, let's start with that poop deck, right, that Homer's so confused about. Well, this is the poop deck. It's the back. The back of a ship is called the poop. And no, it has nothing to do with what Homer thinks it has. It has to do with the original French name, le poupe, P-O-U-P-E, although E is not pronounced, because you don't pronounce final E's. So, there you go. That's why it's called the poop, because that's what the word for the back of a French boat is. It's the part that sits above the captain's cabin there. So it's the very end. Another one that comes up all the time is the jib. I don't like the cut of your jib, right? Yeah, when I first got into studying the Age of Sail, I was like, what's a jib? It's the front sail. And the reason that people could say they don't like the cut of their jib is because the French and English had different cut jibs. So if a French ship was approaching and you saw the jib, you might say, I don't like the cut of that jib. That looks like a French ship. What about showing the ropes? You always hear that, right? Even when someone joins an office job, you want to show them the ropes. Well, yeah, that's because showing the ropes was something you did to landsmen who were now becoming sailors. People who had never been on a ship before, who had very little experience. The basic entry-level position were the ropes. So you got shown the ropes. That was entry level. Son of a gun. I didn't know this came from Age of Sail, but it does. It's not a Western term, like, somebody's like a quick shot. It is absolutely has its origins in, sailing ships and the occasional female that would be on sailing ships. Most people think of just men as the sailors and the Marines and the officers during the Age of Sail, but there were actually quite a lot of women. Especially in port, women were be allowed to keep their husbands or sailors company, whether they were actually their wives or, should we say, ladies of the evening. But there were women who actually went out and sailed. Sometimes they were wives. Sometimes they were even women disguised as men, kind of like in Mulan. There's a great book by Susan Stark on this, no relation to Ned or Tony. But yes, women were on boats in the Age of Sail, and because there were men and women together, there would sometimes be reproduction. And when you wouldn't know who the father was, women who become pregnant, when they would give birth between two cannons because it offered a little privacy. And if the captain didn't know who the father of the son was, he would write down in the log that the child was the son of a gun because they were born between two guns and they couldn't tell who the father was. Have you ever heard of the term tack? And I don't mean the little sticky stuff we use to put action figures up on our walls or comic books, etc., but tacking as a verb refers to the movement of a ship against the wind. So sailing into the wind, obviously you can't do that, but you can sail slightly to the side of it. And so this is called tacking, when you are sailing into the wind, but it's sort of a crisscross pattern where you have to go port, starboard, left, right. This is how ships sail. They don't sail in a straight line when they're into the wind. They have to tack. So if a ship is going to tack, it basically just means it's going to make a turn, since it can't sail directly into the wind. The other tack, of course, is hard tack. This is different. This is an actual food. These are the biscuits that seamen and captains and Marines would eat, and they were usually had weevils inside, but of course, in the service, you always have to choose the lesser of two weevils. So there's that. Cold enough to freeze the balls off a brass monkey. Oh my gosh, one of my favorite nautical terms has nothing to do with the Beastie Boys or that awesome song from the 2000s. Brass monkeys are not at all what you probably think they are, and the idea that a brass monkey was going to get so cold that he was going to freeze his balls off has nothing to do with testicles. These balls, cannonballs. A brass monkey is the plate that these cannonballs are stacked on, that square. So you've got 23, then 9, then 3, then 1. That's how the math works. So this is what the cannonballs would be stacked on, and in cold weather, because it was made of brass, it would compress, and then the balls would roll off. Hence, it could be cold enough that the balls would roll off the brass monkey. Hence, cold enough to freeze the balls off a brass monkey. One of the best nautical terms ever that just does not get its origin mentioned quite enough. In fact, there's even a company that makes freezers called Brass Monkey, after the original tin or brass trays. So, hey, it lives on, and yeah, nothing to do with the Beastie Boys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Would you like a follow-up? I mean, there's plenty of cool nautical terms to explain, and I enjoy making videos like this. Hey, one of the fun things about having your own YouTube channel, you can do what you want. Hope you enjoy, though. Couldn't have this channel without the subscribers and viewers. I mean, you guys are what make it. Thanks for sharing, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.